get into it. We're gonna start right now with the main event. I already know this is gonna be a separate clip because we've got some things to talk about. So let's break it down and let's break it down moment by moment. The main event, Christian Savoie was back home, basically fighting against Dorjan Dokaj. Starts the fight off amazingly, puts Dorjan on skates immediately, is beating his ass for like a good minute and a half. And then Dorjan is able to get to him with basically just get a grip on him and clinch up. From there, he's able to kind of drag him to the ground. They have some ground exchanges. Savoie turtles up. Dokaj goes with the shots. Referee's like, oh, that's back of the head. Don't do that. Savoie is kind of looking like it's like, oh, that wasn't back of the head, but like whatever. So they're like, okay, I'll check this out. Dokaj lands maybe one or two other shots. Referee steps in and he's like, nah, that's not working. Takes a point off. Then, oh man, it was just super weird because usually when you get an eye poke or an illegal shot or something like that, you don't get 5 minutes. 5 minutes is for the groin strike, the kick in the dick, basically. Other fouls, you get the doctor, then the doctor evaluates, like, oh yeah, maybe he needs a minute, then he's gonna be good to go, or like whatever the doctor assesses, that's what they do. Referee stops the shit, takes a point away, then basically stops doing anything, never calls in a doctor, and lets Christian decide when he's ready to start fighting back. Which Christian just took forever, basically, and that's more power to him. The referee gave him the right. If you can wait 5 minutes until you restart fighting, especially when like he just took some major energy away in his flurries. He was really trying to finish the fight and everything. So I think he was right in his adrenaline drum, probably. And bro, it's just like he took forever. They started back fighting. Absolutely lost the rest of the round. But then, like, it's that still at 10-9. I feel like you can't score that round for Dorjan, that first round. Because he got knocked down, he almost got finished. So even though he dominated on the ground a lot of that round, you can't score it for him. So it's a 10-9, but it's automatically a 10-8 because he lost a point. So that's the first round. At that point, what do you got to say about that shit, man?
Yeah, it was definitely you could really tell that Savoie emptied his tank trying to get the finish, and he was just going crazy for about a whole minute and a half, just unloading, trying to because you could tell that Dokaj was hurt, and it, he it was a really weird circumstance with the ref. He was very once he gave him the hard warning and. Um, yeah, it was just weird because he right away he jumped in off of like maybe one or two very soft back of the head shots, took the point, and then Savoie was just he spent all his energy trying to get the finish and took advantage of that 5 minutes. Like normally when you see a fighter take that long after back of the head shots, the doctor's stepping in and they're considering stopping the fight, but it was more a lack of energy rather than being in pain, I think. And that's why he took all the time. So I definitely agree with just as far as damage goes, Savoie won the round off of that, and that automatically makes it a 10-8 with the point deduction. But it was just you could tell what was going to happen after at the end of the round for the rest of the fight.
Do you agree with the point deduction?
I don't really agree because I think that the first warning wasn't really even it wasn't really shouldn't have been a warning, as Savoie even recognized it wasn't a back of the head shot. Like he was fine. So then I think the ref could have stood them up and taken away the position, but to take a point away like that it felt pretty harsh there. What did you think?
I don't know, man. It's like, in a sense, I'm like, he kind of just warned you. So I understand taking a point. Do I think the shots were to the back of the head in both instances, meaning the warning, then the point deduction? Like I wasn't there, I can see closely, but from what I saw, I don't think they were really to the back of the head. I
And I
think that because, like, as it can be quite to the back of the head, as long as it touches the ear a little bit, it's considered legal. So basically, you really gotta punch him in the middle of the back of his head for it to be like blatantly illegal. And I don't think that was the case, to be honest. I think it was in a gray area. So like, let's. The thing is that the referee is the one who kind of makes the rules. So if you see that the referee is like sensible to this, like his gray area is like, let's say, less big than other refs, maybe you should just try and do something else. So I don't really agree, but I can't say I disagree either. I'm really torn on that one, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that normally like the refs will take a point away to even the playing field those back of the head shots I don't think had very much of an impact. So it wasn't like those shots did a whole bunch of damage to Savoie. And I can't say for sure 'cause I wasn't the one that was receiving them, but yeah, I think there wasn't a lot to even the playing field from. It just didn't appear that they were super damageful.
Yeah, no, for sure. And as for the break, at the beginning, I feel like Savoie was trying to regain energy, but like at a point, in my opinion, it just became weird. Because I feel
Yeah.
like Savoie was okay and he was just kind of waiting for the refs to maybe resume the action. But the ref was really waiting for Savoie to resume the action. And Savoie was like, oh, if you're giving me more time, I'm going to take it for sure, man. And I would be dumb not to. And like he did it. And like for real, like more power to him. I would have done the same without hesitation. But yeah. So very weird first round. Second round, bro, is as straightforward as you can. I don't think Christien Savoie landed one shot in that round. Dorjan basically shot a takedown 0.7 seconds into the round. Worked for it, took him down, did damage, controlled, absolutely dominated. Then third round, same thing happens. The only thing that I have to say is that Savoie was doing a better job to get up, but when he got up, Dorjan was not letting go of the body lock, and Savoie was not able to break the grip at all. So he was getting taken back down every time he was standing up. So basically, another round where we got absolutely dominated. And man, with 10 seconds left, he turtles up. Dorjan unloads with some shots. Referee comes in. Hey, stop, stop, stop. Takes a second point away, man. And bro, like at that moment, to be honest, it just felt dirty to me, man. It just felt like, bro, it did like the hometown guy is not winning and the referee wants him. I don't know. Like I'm not putting in on the promotion. I know Derek was probably like livid about that shit. I know how the guy is, and like, man, it just felt dirty to me. I don't think these were shots to the back of the head. In the third round, I don't feel like it was warranted to take a point. I just feel like it was bad, man, and they were trying to take the fight away from the away guy. Basically, that's how I feel, man. Straight up.
Yeah, it was that was a really terrible point deduction. That second one, it was like John Morgan did a good job of summing up, I think, everyone's emotions on the commentary. He was super confused. He couldn't believe it either, and it was just crazy. And it still shouldn't have mattered because it was all one-way traffic from the halfway and part of the first round to the end. I couldn't believe that one judge gave. I know I'm jumping ahead to the judging a bit, but the fact that there were no 10-8s given to Dokaj on one scorecard was just crazy because like Savoie didn't land a single punch the last two rounds, and credit to him in the third round, he was trying to get back up and trying to make it a fight and get his chances, but every time he got up to his feet, Dorjan was just like throwing him around with these big throws from the back. It was super impressive to see, and he looked a lot bigger in there than Christien. Like it wasn't a Christien moving up in weight for that one.
Yeah, like Christien was a middleweight, then he became a welterweight. Then that was his return fight. So yeah, it was a middleweight, but yeah, Dorjan's is a big middleweight. So size difference was kind of significant in that fight.
Yeah, I didn't notice a huge difference at the weigh-ins, but I guess Dorjan put on a lot of weight after the cut, and he just looked a lot bigger than him in there. Was able to just impose his grappling game on Christian.
Yup. So I don't know if MMA Empire has the exact scores, because I know for a fact that there was a 28-27 for Savoie,
Hmm.
which is a criminal scorecard, bro. Like, to be honest, it's a criminal scorecard. Like,
On a scale of 1 to Powell Synagoga, what would you rate that scorecard?
oh, that's a good like 7. That's a good 7-8. Like, it's bad,
Yeah,
man. Because like, I won't go lower because they kind of have like they scored the round for the right people. It's just the
yeah,
way that they scored the round is awful. Because basically, how you go to that fucking score is that the first round is a 10-8 for Savoie. Then you got a 10-9 for Dokaj in round 2, and then you got a 9-9 in round 3. So you get so basically it's two 10-9s for Dokaj and 1-10-9 for Savoie. So it's 29-28 Dokaj, but he lost 2 points, so that makes it 28-27 for the other guy. That's a bad scorecard. Very, very bad scorecard. Then there's a guy who scored it for Dokaj. Then that's the scorecard that I'm trying to find right now. It was 28-26 for Dokaj.
so yeah, that would be then two 10-8s in there.
Yeah, exactly. Which is the way I ended up with a 27-26. I scored first round 10-8 for Christian because of the point deduction. I scored the second round 10-8 for Dorjan, and I scored the second round 9-8 for Dorjan because of the point deduction, which led to 27-28. So did the guy give the first round to Dorjan? Let's say he gives the first round to Dorjan. That gives now 28-25. Okay, I don't know how you came up with that score, bro. I won't even try to. I won't, bro. So okay, crazy scorecards. So but like, I think that the bottom line here is that it sucks, man. It just sucks for everybody involved because like Dorian deserved to win that fight, deserved, and even like it was just a good fight, man. A good back and forth. First guy started with the momentum, then the momentum shift, and it's an amazing performance for a young prospect. And like, there's so many things that we should be talking about after this main event, and we're just not because the referee just hijacked the fight, and you never want the referee to hijack the fight. And like, I won't come here and say, "Oh, this referee is trash," because I don't know this referee. He's named Barry Gallant, and I don't know him. And to be honest, if he was that trash, I would probably have figured it out like earlier in the night because probably was in his first fight of the night that he was officiating. So maybe he just had enough one on that one. Just sucks that is the main event. But bro, the ref hijacked the fight, and that sucks because we're talking about that and we're speaking about the fight in length like during 20 minutes on a podcast, while we should just be saying that Dorjan was super impressive and that Christian started the fight well, but unfortunately for him, he has some adjustments to make, but he's still on the right way to being a very good fighter and all that. But kind of not happening because the ref just decided that he was taking points away kind of randomly. And like, the crazy thing is that he takes a point away, takes the position away in the first round. They resume fighting. Dorjan shoots, gets the takedown, and Christien Savoie goes with like the brutal fence grab, but on the other side of the ref, so he never sees it. So man,
Hmm.
it was bad, man. Yeah,
Yeah, that fence grab, I was gonna get mad at that, but I think like maybe less than a minute later, Dorjan returned the favor with one when he was trying
yeah.
to get him down. I think so. Then I was just like, oh, whatever. They both traded fence grabs, so an eye for an eye on that one. But it really is a shame that all of our attention's going to the referee and his decision making because it was an amazing performance from Dorjan, and it was great to see Christian back out there again. after his hiatus during everything that happened the past couple of years. So yeah, it was great to see Dorjan get that what should have been a big win on his record, because Christian had a lot of hype on him before he took some time away, and he just looked really dominant. Like he put a relentless pace on Christian, and like always active on the ground, always chipping away and working, and like just never gave him a chance to recover. He could tell that Christian was slowing down on the energy side, and it was just constant, just hitting him and trying to advance position. It was super impressive to see.